Welcome to Movie Car Madness. Today, we're diving into one of the most badass muscle cars to ever hit the silver screen. Xander Cage's 1967 Pontiac GTO from the 2002 action-packed blockbuster XXX. This isn't just any classic muscle car. It's a full-throttle, fire-breathing, rocket-launching Hollywood stunt machine. From its custom Blasberry paint job to its over-the-top gadgets, this GTO was designed to match Xander Cage's extreme, no-rules attitude. But how did this legendary Pontiac go from Detroit steel to stunt icon? Buckle up, because we're about to break down 10 insane facts about this one-of-a-kind car. If you like this car, hit the like button and let us know in the comments. Number 1. Built for action, the 5 GTOs of XXX. When it came to bring Xander Cage's GTO to life, the production needed multiple cars to handle different tasks. That's where Eddie Paul, one of Hollywood's go-to car builders, came in. His team at Custom Car Shop in El Segundo, California, sourced and modified 5 different 1967 Pontiacs for the film. But here's the twist: not all of them were real GTOs. Some were actually Le Mans and Tempest models, rebadged and modified to look like full-blown GTOs. Why? Because real numbers-matching GTOs are rare and expensive, so using look-alike donor cars helped the production save money while still delivering high-speed action. To make sure each car served a specific role, the production team built and customized 5 different versions, each designed for a particular type of scene. Hero cars were the best-looking, pristine models, used for close-up shots, dialogue scenes, and beauty passes. These cars were kept mostly stock, with their original Pontiac 400 V8 engines and classic interiors intact. If you see Vin Diesel leaning on the car, revving the engine, or delivering a one-liner, chances are he's sitting in a hero car. The stunt cars were built for destruction, reinforced for disability, featuring roll cages, beefed-up suspensions, upgraded brakes, and high-performance ZZ4 crate engines pushing over 400 horsepower. These were the cars that got drifted, crashed, and jumped through explosions, taking the most abuse. And there were the effects cars. If the GTO was firing flamethrowers, launching missiles, or doing anything completely over the top, it was one of the effects cars. They were rigged with special effects gear like fake blower scoops, retractable weapon compartments, and flashing interior gadgets. None of these props actually worked. They were movie magic, wired to external power sources to look convincing on screen. Number 2. The stunt cars packed more power. The hero GTOs in the film retained their original Pontiac 400 V8 engines, which cranked out 360 horsepower. But when it came to high-speed stunt work, the production needed more muscle. That's where Chevrolet ZZ4 350 crate engines came into play. These motors, modified to push over 400 horsepower, were swapped into the stunt cars, giving the drivers better reliability, quicker throttle response, and raw power to pull off wild chases. Even though these weren't true Pontiac engines, the ZZ4 swap has a bulletproof engine that could handle the beatings of Hollywood stunt driving. Number 3. The GTO, the OG muscle car. The first-gen GTOs from 1964 to 1967 are often credited with kicking off the golden age of muscle cars, a claim solidified by its engineering mastermind, John DeLorean. Before he became famous for his stainless steel gull-winged creation, DeLorean was Pontiac's performance visionary. Instead of introducing an entirely new model, he had the team package a high-performance 389 V8 into the mid-size Tempest, skirting restrictions that limited engine displacement in smaller cars. The result? A street-legal powerhouse that enthusiasts couldn't resist. The GTO broke GM's corporate engine size restrictions and kick-started the muscle car era, paving the way for icons like the Dodge Charger, Chevy Chevelle SS, and Ford Mustang Mach 1. By 1967, the GTO evolved into a 400 cubic inch powerhouse with bold dual hood scoops, stacked headlights, and a presence that demanded respect. By the time XXX was filmed, The 67 GTO had long solidified its status as one of the most desirable muscle cars of all time, making it the perfect choice for Xander Cage's over-the-top, adrenaline-fueled persona. The car wasn't just about raw speed, it was a symbol of rebellion, performance, and American muscle. Number 4. Functional upgrades versus movie magic. Xander's GTO looks like something straight out of a spy thriller. Flamethrowers, missile launchers, and heads-up display. But just how much of it was real, and how much was Hollywood trickery? Well, let's break it down. Performance enhancements. Absolutely. To handle the insane stunt work, these stunt GTOs were fitted with upgraded brakes, reinforced suspension, and high-performance cooling systems. Bigger disc brakes helped bring all that muscle to a stop, while heavy-duty shocks and springs allowed the car to take jumps, hard turns, and rough landings without completely falling apart. Rocket launchers and spy gadgets, 100% movie magic. Those missile pods, ejector seats, and pop-up weapon systems were purely cosmetic. In reality, they were static props. Fake barrels, molded panels, and flashing LED lights wired to external power sources to look convincing on camera. The GTO's interior was decked out with high-tech displays, glowing buttons, and mysterious switches, but none of them actually controlled anything. Just a bit of cinematic sleight of hand to sell Xander's over-the-top style. But let's talk about the most eye-catching upgrade, that insane Blasberry paint job. This color-shifting, high-gloss, custom mix wasn't just for show. It gave the GTO a futuristic, almost animated quality under different lighting conditions. The paint, which shifted between deep purple and electric blue, wasn't cheap either. $1,300 per pint. It was one of the most expensive and visually striking modifications on the car, making sure Xander's ride stood out even before the rocket launchers came into play. Number 5. Stunt abuse and tire shredding mayhem. Bringing the GTO to life on screen was unrelenting automotive punishment. The stunt sequences in XXX were intense, high speed, and absolutely brutal on every car involved. And trust us, the GTOs felt every second of it. 500-plus stunt drivers took part in the film's action-packed sequences, each pushing their vehicles to the limit. 200 sets of tires were shredded, burned, and obliterated across all stunt vehicles in the movie. With multiple takes for each shot, the GTOs faced repeated jumps, skids, power slides, and hard landings, putting their suspensions and drivetrains through absolute hell. By the time filming wrapped, only a handful of screen-used GTOs survived without heavy damage. Most of the stunt cars were battered beyond repair, their undercarriages scraped, their fenders dented, and their engines barely holding on. But that's the price of movie car madness. When you want jaw-dropping action, you sacrifice a few tires, or a few cars, to make it happen. Number 6. The auctioned GTO, a surprising price. In 2011, one of the original screen-used GTOs went up for sale at Barrett-Jackson Auctions. It still had all the custom movie features, from the wild interior switchgear to the oversized side pipes. Final sale price? $28,600. That's shockingly low for a famous movie car, but there's a reason. This particular GTO was sold with a scrap title, meaning it wasn't street legal. As a result, it became more of a display piece than a drivable classic. Number 7. The GTO's comeback in XXX Return of Xander Cage. In 2017, when Vin Diesel returned for XXX Return of Xander Cage, one of the original Hero GTOs made a comeback too. A collector named Tom Sherwood owned 2 of the original movie cars and loaned one to the production. The same Blasberry paint, same over-the-top styling. It was a full-circle moment that brought nostalgia back to the franchise. Number 8. The GTO gets its moment with Jay Leno. In 2019, one of the most famous surviving screen-used 1967 Pontiac GTOs from XXX took center stage on an episode of Jay Leno's Garage. The GTO in question? None other than the Flame Car, so named for its role in one of the film's most explosive sequences. This was the GTO rigged with special effects equipment, including a flamethrower setup that belched fire from its hood scoops. And if you look closely, You can see the scorched paint damage, battle scars from its time on set. Originally a hardtop, this particular GTO underwent heavy modifications for its cinematic role. The roof was completely removed to allow for specific stunt work, making it one of the most uniquely altered cars in the fleet. But perhaps its coolest feature was the revolving seat weapon storage compartment, a hidden stash spot for prop guns, because what's a Xander Cage ride without a little extra firepower? During the episode, Jay Leno and Tom Sherwood dove deep into the car's unique history and stunt-ready build. Seeing the flame car roll onto Jay Leno's garage only solidified its place as an iconic piece of movie car history, and proof that the XXX GTOs were more than just props. They were legends. Number 9. How many of Xander Cage's GTOs still exist? With 5 custom-built 1967 Pontiac GTOs used in XXX, how many of them actually survived the brutal filming process? Well, let's break it down. 2 of the original screen-used GTOs landed in the hands of collector Tom Sherwood, who has carefully preserved them as part of his private collection. These are some of the best-kept examples, still showcasing their movie modifications, including that unmistakable Blasberry paint job. Another stunt car that took some serious on-screen punishment found a home at the Hollywood Cars Museum in Branson, Missouri. If you ever want to see a piece of XXX history up close, this is one of the last surviving cars on public display. Then there's the Mystery GTO, a hero car that was auctioned off in 2011 at Barrett-Jackson, fetching a relatively modest price of $28,600. Where did it go? Since the sale, it's disappeared from the public eye, and unless a lucky collector steps forward, its current location remains a mystery. At least one stunt car was left behind in Prague after filming, presumed destroyed during production and likely gone for good. So, when all is said and done, at least 4 of the original 5 GTOs still exist in some form today. That's a surprisingly high survival rate for a muscle car that spent its Hollywood career being thrashed in high-speed action sequences. Number 10. Want a die-cast replica? Get ready to pay up. If you've ever dreamed of owning Xander Cage's 1967 Pontiac GTO, but don't quite have the garage space, there's still a way to bring a piece of XXX history into your collection: die-cast replicas. A few scale models of this iconic muscle car have hit the market, but just like the real thing, they're not easy to come by. The 1/18 scale Ertl diecast model is widely considered the best replica out there, featuring movie-accurate details, including that aggressive stance and signature Blasberry paint job. If you want one today, expect to shell out $150 or more on sites like eBay. For model builders, there's also a 1/25 scale MPC plastic model kit. Though good luck finding one. These kits are extremely rare and only show up on collector sites once in a blue moon. And there you have it. 10 insane facts about Xander Cage's 1967 Pontiac GTO from XXX. Which movie car should we cover next? Let us know in the comments. And if you love movie car madness, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep it fast and keep it furious.